different marketplaces or even in the same companies use completely different products, and they engage, and some agents won't use one product in an office because one of the other agents in that office uses it. So I feel like we've already learned that that's not going to work. So explain a little bit, because I'm excited about where we're headed and what the vision is.
Yeah, I mean, there's a concept of a closed system and an open system. And a bunch of our competitors have announced, Compass is one, KW is one, that they're building a closed system, meaning they're going to build the end-to-end, use their components, and that's the solution. So we don't think that's the right answer. We're building an open system because, as Mike said, whether you're an agent or a company, everyone has their favorite things. And so we think that actually when it comes to technology, it's about flexibility and it's about choice. So our new platform will have 4 modules, call them. One is the core website, mobile, sort of the web experience. One is the new lead generation scoring assigning system, so leads. Third one is robust CRM. Fourth one is robust transaction management. And if you think about it as the dresser drawers in your bedroom, each one of those is a drawer. And so, and they're all modular. You can take all 4 or 3 or 2 or 1. If you don't like our transaction management, slide out the drawer and slide in .loop if that's what your company prefers. And so we're building it modularly. We're rolling it out modularly so you can get one piece at a time and not wait for the whole thing. And we're doing it with constant feedback from users, agents, brokers, etc. That's the third part of our strategy. And the fourth one, which is I think relevant, but less relevant to all of you, is at a time when the industry is super competitive, we all know that, we've been talking about it, at a time when we're glad our stock has moved from 4 to 8, but was 25 a year ago, we are focused on simplification, standardization, and being as efficient as possible. And so we have been, for the last 6 months, taking a very hard look at costs, process, layers, spans, and making sure that our company is as lean and nimble and cost-effective as possible heading into 2020.
Which, as leaders, everybody should be doing, right? I mean, we've been 10 years in a run-up. I mean, as Slido, just like you could in the earlier session, you could go to hashtag always elevate and ask John some questions if you have any specific for him. So talk a little bit, there's a lot of discussion as well, not just in the real estate industry, but everywhere you go, all you hear about is how the next 100 years in the business world will center around data and analytics. And we have, as the largest residential real estate company in the world, the most amount of data and analytics. So how are we going to leverage that? What could we do and use so that our Century 21 agents and brokers can be more successful and deliver more extraordinary out there?
Sure. So a couple of thoughts on data analytics. The first is that we do not believe that Realogy or Century 21 is a tech company that happens to be in real estate. We are a real estate company that leverages technology. And again, that's not unique to real estate, right? All industries, all companies have got to leverage technology. And we are 100% of the belief, and I think Kara shared some of the data around the intention of buyers and sellers of real estate, millennials. All of the research and all of the actual data tells us that human beings will always look to another human being, a trusted advisor, to help them through this most complicated transaction. We are all in on that. The most successful agents, the most successful human beings at helping other human beings purchase their new home are going to be those that leverage technology. And so that is our focus. And I'll talk about a couple of things when it comes to data and analytics. Just in terms of scope and scale of Realogy, between both sides of a transaction, between our mortgage business, between Cardis, Realogy, even though we only have 15% market share, we touch more than 20% of the home sales in the US. So we have a tremendous amount of data. And it's organized really well. We invested in a company called Ojo last year. And Ojo is it's beyond a startup at this point because it's profitable and large, but they focus in artificial intelligence, they focus in machine learning, and we'll never say to an agent, here's your Ojo tool. what it is it's being built into the new tech platform. So when our lead management system is looking at leads and scoring them and nurturing them, either nurturing them through bots that are interacting with the consumer, or the machine is determining this consumer has now asked the bot 18 questions about that property over 6 months, and the machine knows as they start to ask questions about heating bills, that means they're getting really close to a decision, and the bot hands it off to a human, meaning one of our agents. That's where we're building in the analytics and the technology by partnering with companies and how to do it better than we do, and making sure that it's built into our new tech platforms. And we're already doing that. We're already using it on our Facebook tool that many of you are using, Social Ad Engine. We're doing it in today. We test and learn in NRT, as many of you know. NRT is using the analytics to determine which agents are most likely to leave and predict that before they do, to target agents that are most ready to leave the company they're at and come over. Part of what you saw from Peter, where he said our sweet spot is that second and third quartile, that was a lot of analytics behind that proved out that was the case. The work we're doing with the turnkey program by Amazon in terms of the way we nurture those leads when they come in, we're using Ojo to do that as well. So it's the brains behind the agent and consumer facing technology.
Great. So a couple of really important questions. I think number one we have to address head on. Are you and Mike wearing the same socks?
Mine are more colorful.
All right, good, we got that out of the way.
I'm impressed that you've actually paired a patterned shirt with a solid blazer.
Oh,
That's
gosh,
great.
I know. John loves my fashion. Are you steering away from Zap? So are we steering away from Zap in general? So I'll answer the Century 21 side of the equation, which Kara, hopefully, you guys got what Kara was saying, and I'll clarify it a little bit more, and then we can talk about that from a Realogy perspective. So Century 21 is steering away from Zap running our .com site. And essentially the reason for that is because of the sheer size and stature of our organization. We found that Zap just could not handle the business rules that we needed it to do. And again, to John's earlier point, Zap was built on old technology that was like using a foundation for us that might have had a little bit of a crack in it. And so we're steering away from it because we want to have more power and control over how our lead flow goes to the right companies and to increase that lead flow back to our Century 21 agents and companies. That's going to be, thank you. As I said earlier, we heard you guys loud and clear. We know it was something that was a distraction for us. We are going to be set on the right path, and by the end of the year, we're going to be rocking and rolling in the right direction, so we don't have to worry about that part of our technology. As a whole, you'll still have the ability to run your local Zap sites with your agents. There's a lot of people who are having a tremendous amount of success with the AI and the predictive analytics that are built into it, and I hear those success stories a lot, and they're going to be able to continue on their way. From a Realogy perspective, maybe you can handle that.
Yeah, so when it comes to Zap overall, Zap's code is 16 years old. It was written 16 years ago. 16 years in the tech space is 3 lifetimes, right, if not 4. So the way in which Zap is architected, which was terrific in 2000, is not current today. And the layman's way of explaining it is, at that time, it was sort of one monolithic list of code. And so in order to change something, if you wanted to add in teams or redo the way it is assigning listings within the Century 21 network, because it's not getting that right today, you have to go in and make adjustments throughout thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of lines of code, versus the way we're building the new tech stack, where it's modular and you can take pieces in and pieces out and plug in third parties or not. And so when we say that we're moving away from Zap, the answer is yes, we are. And we've got one team that continues to work on Zap, continues to strengthen and enhance it, and will work on Zap until the last company rolls off of it onto a new platform, which is being built by an entirely new team. So I think the first thing that's important to note is we have resources working on the next gen tech stack, and we have resources that continue to work on the current tech stack, because to get from the first company that moves over to the last company that moves over is probably something like an 18 to 24 month time frame with the first module in beta rolling out in December. So that's I think the first thing to know about it. We looked at, can we leverage Zap and should we just build on it for the new things that we're doing? But when you think about the agenda that we have for our next gen tech stack, which comes from all of you, Zap doesn't handle Teams well. Zap doesn't handle international well. Zap doesn't handle rentals. Zap struggles assigning listings in the Century 21 network because your companies, based upon the history of C21, tend to be closer to each other than Zap was designed to do, which is why we mix up the assignment of leads and listings. All of that really can only be fixed or created new by starting from scratch, and that's what we're doing. And it'll be a combination of Realogy built tech as well as third party, where we think it makes more sense to do that, and it's underway. So 2 of the modules will be in beta with a couple companies each in January.
So there's a couple other questions that were on here that I want to get addressed, but we're kind of running out of time. One was surrounding USAA and Cardis. I know there's going to be some exciting announcements coming down the pike that way. We launched the U.S. Military Rewards Program, which I think will see some great traction. But one of the things that I'm really excited about, and again, guys, if you don't know John, he's completely transparent and always available. So he'll be at the event for the rest of the day. When are you leaving?
Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning. Until tomorrow morning. So if you want to catch John, again, he's somebody super approachable that you can ask anything to. One of the other things that you're putting together and standing up is this product and innovation team, which I think is really cool and a great idea for trying to help our brokers to be more profitable, to get more company dollar, to find other ways to bring revenue into the organization. Talk a little bit about why we're standing that up, what exactly it's going to mean for Century 21.
Yep. So we set up a new function that's serving all of brokerage, so the NRT companies as well as the RFP companies. It's our product and innovation team. And we did it because I think you're starting to see that Realogy, particularly in 2019, has gotten into a cadence of starting to deliver and roll out and announce new stuff. Whether it was Agent X, which is the virtual assistant for real estate that C21 piloted last year and helped us put together, whether it's the Real Shore program, the Real Vitalize program, which is our staging program, the Amazon relationship, our insurance program for agents. There's a lot happening now. And as we looked around the company and how we got there, it happened in pockets all over the place. And some of those programs came to market more smoothly. Some of them were a tougher push. And one of the best practices, I think, of large companies like ours achieving innovation and being agile and moving quickly is really putting the innovation resources and budget and talent in one place and literally saying to them, get shit done and break the rules and ask for permission later. And so,
I like that.
You probably have read, so Simon Shen, who we brought in from the outside 2 years ago, who was leading ERA, is heading up this product and innovation group for us. And as we looked around for someone to lead it, he was literally the only person in the company who we would point to, because he is an entrepreneur, and he's a tech entrepreneur, and he's built and sold companies. And what I saw of him just within ERA is he was getting stuff done, and he wasn't always following the Realogy rules or doing it as we would have liked him to do, but he was making progress. And so his mission, he's got four teams. He's got learning now. He's got our recruiting efforts to help the franchise groups recruit better. He's got our partnerships, and he's got the product team that is developing the modules that I just talked about as well as others. That is where all of our innovation, sort of that's brokerage facing, is being housed together with the best, most entrepreneurial, rule-breaking people we have within Realogy, and their mission is get it done fast. Done is better than perfect, and we will fix it, and we will amend it, and we'll improve things as it goes. But we don't want projects celebrating birthdays. We don't want people working in a dark room for a year and coming out and saying ta-da, and the market has left them. So the reason we are putting these modules out in January to 3 or 4 companies with a minimal viable product is because we want the feedback so we can make it better and better. So we are centralizing, which doesn't sound like a very innovative, agile word. We are putting in one place, in one module, the group of people that we think can get stuff done.
So you're saying that breaking the rules gets rewarded under your leadership, just so I know.
If you're part of,
Yeah.
Which would be good for all of us.
yeah, if you're part of the product innovation team.
Awesome, awesome. Well, look, I want to say thank you to John. John's been a huge steward in helping us get more investment, get some of the talent back into the brand from inside of Realgy, and we're super excited to have you at the helm. I'm glad you were able to spend some time with us.
Yeah, I think this has been an amazing conference. This morning was a sensational session. So was this afternoon. And I said, I just want to share one thing is, I had lunch with the companies who are considering joining us, joining the system. And I said to them that we're all a bunch of salespeople at lunch telling you all about how wonderful Century 21 is. But the reason that we have you here and not in a conference room in New Jersey is because the best salespeople are those that have been in the system for 30 years or 3 months. And we are confident and proud that anybody in this room will talk to one of our prospects and tell them the truth about what it's like to be part of Century 21. And I hope that as they reach out to you and ask you, what were transitions like? How did you protect your agents from leaving? What are the pros and cons and the highlights of the tech stack that we have to offer? We think that you are our best salespeople, and it feels that way because of the enthusiasm in the room. And it's really amazing to me, who doesn't spend as much time with you all as Mike does. I can feel the connection and the relationship in the family, and that's why we're so confident bringing all of our prospects here to meet all of you, because you are our brand ambassadors. I want to thank you for doing it.
The very best thing about the network is the network, and these are the ones who lead us every single day. So thank you, everybody. Thanks, John, for being here.